Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm super excited to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to find models at a affordable price and how to work with models for free. So quick background story. So when I first started 3 years ago, I had no idea how to start, and I paid a model $150 an hour to shoot, and I paid a photographer $200 an hour, or $200 for the session, which was 2 hours to shoot. And it was, for me, when I first started, it was insanely expensive. I'm happy I did it because I learned a lot. However, with that experience, I want to save you guys all that time and money and have you guys just go straight on your own with just creating your own content. Okay guys, really quick, before I get into the video, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. My intention of making this video is not to take advantage or exploit the talent and the hard work of models. Let me just make it very clear, models work very hard, and sometimes they travel far distances, and this video is not to take advantage of that. This video is made to work with models who are up and coming, or girls who just like to have their picture taken and are really great at just taking photos and are photogenic. It's supposed to be a fun meetup, an event where the person you're shooting is getting photos and you are getting content. Number one way to find models that I find models is through Facebook. Now, you're probably thinking, what? Through Facebook? Isn't Facebook dead? Probably. However, Facebook groups are very much alive, and there's a lot of action going on in Facebook groups and getting that going so you can find your models. So first thing is you're gonna go onto facebook.com, you're gonna go in the search bar, and you're gonna put in, if you're from a small town, I still recommend you look for groups in your town. So if you're from a small town, you put in your town and, obviously your state, and then models and photographers. And then only look for groups. So don't like any pages, you don't need to add anybody as your friend or whatever. You don't need to do any of that. Just focus on finding those groups that apply to models and photographers in your town. Now, if you don't find anything because you're from a small town or whatever, put in models and photographers, and in a city or a bigger town or a major city that you are okay with traveling to for your photo shoot. So I'm from Los Angeles, and I didn't think using LA would be a good example because I feel like anybody that's watching this is going to be like, well, that doesn't really apply because I'm not there or whatever. So, and then I truly believe that this method works everywhere, anywhere. So I decided to use Houston, Texas. I thought it was a big enough town. However, there's still small towns around Houston, and I don't think Houston is known for like models and photographers, or doesn't have like a huge like entertainment industry like LA does. So yeah. Okay, so what I did was I went into Facebook, I searched on the search bar, Houston, Texas, models and photographers. And then I went to the groups only. The groups part of Facebook. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna add yourself to all of those groups. You're gonna answer all the questions. Some of them have questions, I think some of them don't. If they ask like, are you a photographer, are you a model, just be very specific that you have a clothing brand, or that you are a clothing designer, and that you are looking for models for your brand. I always write that. And I never had a problem. I don't think I ever not got accepted to a group. So you should be good to go. Because obviously people need brands, companies need models, and they need photographers. So it's a good way to network. So yeah, so that's the first way you're gonna start. And then you're gonna find the groups that are most active. So join them all. Now it's time for you to make your post. I'm gonna give you some examples of some of the things that I include in all my posts when I am looking for models and photographers. And so the first thing I include is obviously the time and the location. Now, you don't need like a specific address if you don't know exactly where you're shooting yet, but I highly recommend you at least put like a neighborhood or an area. So for example, for me, I put I already know what time I'm shooting, so I give the exact time. And then for the location, I typically shoot in the Arts District. Different areas of the Arts District, so I don't right away put the address or the location. I just say downtown LA Arts District. So people who apply to do the photo shoot with you, they know where they're traveling to, or they have an idea of what the travel time is looking like, especially here in LA with traffic and all that. It's pretty important. Thing number 2 that's really important that you need to make clear on your post, that this is a trade for photos. So in these Facebook posts, you're probably going to see, or in these Facebook groups, you're going to probably see TFP. TFP is trade for photos, and make it clear you include that, and you include that, you know, on the top or like in the detail, you know, like just make it clear that when you schedule people, they're aware that it's trade for photos. And if you guys have inventory already, or you have extra inventory, or you're willing, honestly, I highly recommend that you put aside some inventory to gift your models. I think it's great. It is a great way for people to promote your brand, especially if you're not spending any money and you're giving them clothes and they promote you. They're like excited, you know, to do that and get free clothes. Like, I think that's really awesome. I think that's like really important. It goes a long way. It really does. So let them know. Trade for photos. And if you're willing to gift clothes, or you have some items that you can gift, let them know that they will be gifted products or merchandise. And like I said, at the end of the shoot, they love that, and then you send over those pictures, they tag you, they share it with their friends, like behind the scenes of, you know, or they share it on their Instagram, and then automatically you're getting followers because their friends or their followers see your stuff, they think it's cool, they think it's fun or whatever, and they're either gonna convert into, or they're either gonna follow you, potentially buy something, or you might have some models, new models to shoot with, you know, in the future. So it's like a win-win no matter what. Okay, number 3. Third thing you need to make sure that you add in your post when you're looking for models in these Facebook groups. Photos. It is really important that you add photos to your post. Obviously, models, photography pages are very visual. These are visual people. So without any photos or being able to visualize what this is going to look like, it's kind of hard to apply or to reach out to you if they don't really know what you're all about. Now, if you don't have a Instagram with like if they're just mannequins or they're flat lays or whatever, don't sweat it. You're gonna go to Pinterest, you're gonna grab some photos that are the aesthetic that you're going for in your photo shoot. You know, so you're gonna like let's say streetwear. You're gonna put together like put in the post a few pictures of like streetwear inspired pictures and clothing or whatever, so they have an idea of what you're going for and what that's going to look like. And when you do that, be sure to include the photos are inspo of the photo shoot. It is not, these are not my photos, this is not my clothing, this is just the look, the aesthetic that I'm going for is streetwear. And most of the time, I never had a problem. I've done this in the beginning. I never had a problem. I let them know, like, this is just my mood board, and that's fine. Okay, thing number 4 that you want to include. Don't forget to include social media links and your website. So don't forget to include Instagram is really important. Instagram is the most important. Your website, if you have a website, if you have an Etsy, link that Etsy, link whatever you can on your post, so they know everything that's going on. Full disclosure, we don't want any surprises, you know, so yeah. Okay, so that's number 4. Okay, so those are the 4 things you're gonna wanna include on your Facebook post when you put it up there, and you're gonna add this, you're gonna post this on every model and photography group that you're a part of. Quick little tip. So when you make your post and you start getting, you know, comments and people who want to reach out and want to do this shoot for this day, and you know, you have people who are interested, so that you can have multiple, now you can create like on your calendar or whatever, a shooting schedule. So like, let's say you pick your model for this Friday, for let's say this Friday's shoot, right? So you're like, hey, so all the other people who are interested, like, don't like just ignore them. What you're gonna do is you're gonna schedule with them another day to shoot. I also have Facebook groups plan B, I call it. So the groups that are like have the most comments, activity, most people are posting on, you know, go there. and find similar or find like photographers that post trade for photo gigs or whatever posts in these Facebook groups, and go into their comments. And what I do in their comments is I go through them, I find the models that are within the look that I want to shoot, and they're in the comments of another post. Reach out to them. So usually they leave their Instagram. So what I do is I go on their Instagram, I send them a DM, I'll follow them, I'll like their pictures, and I'll tell them, hey, I came across your Instagram or your page on Facebook group. I see that you want to do trade for photos. Do you want to do trade for photos with me and my brand as well? Or when are you available? So I wanted to chat with you about the second way that I like to find models, and that's through Instagram. Again, Facebook groups is my go-to. However, sometimes I like to switch it up and I like to look for models on Instagram. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Basically, the main way I do that is through hashtags. The example of, like, let's say Houston, Texas, because again, I don't think Houston is known for like entertainment industry like LA is, so I'm going to use that to be more relatable with other areas in the country. If you're watching this outside of LA, I used hashtag Houston models, and there is 439,000 posts that came up, and all of the posts look really had a lot of like great model photos on it. So I was really excited to see that. So typically the models that I like to reach out to have 1 to 5,000 followers. Work with these models or these people who like to take pictures in that 1 to 5,000 follower range is because typically they're willing to do trade for photo work. Another thing is sometimes these models or people that we're going to be shooting have 1 to 5,000 followers. However, they have great engagement on all their posts. Like they have like 250 likes and 10 comments. So they have a very like tight niche like following base. When you're looking for people like to reach out to shoot, I personally really recommend finding somebody who is your potential customer as well. So somebody who has either, like if you have a bohemian, let's say, aesthetic, somebody who has that same aesthetic or style of clothing in their photos, in their feed is like a big plus, because then they can identify with you and your brand, and then they actually genuinely like your clothing. So I'm going to give you an example of a message that I would typically send. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to follow them. You're going to like maybe 3 photos to get their attention, so they know that you are genuinely interested in them, their style. And you're going to send them a DM. This is what I send them. I say, hi, I love your style. I was wondering if you'd be interested in shooting in LA sometime this month for my reworked vintage clothing line. And I just that's all. It's just short. You reach out to models or people who are potential customers because they are genuinely interested in your clothing, and they want to actually work with you because they want your clothing, or they want to be a part of what you're doing. So those are my tips for Instagram. And then last but not least is Meetup.com. Now, I don't know exactly how effective Meetup.com is going to be right now because just of the current climate of this pandemic and what's going on and restrictions. And I do not recommend you gathering in groups of people or anything like that. However, I have used Meetup.com for other things, for networking and things like that, and it's very effective, and there is a great network of people to meet out there. So if you want to, take your networking, take your modeling and your photography, to meet people to the next level, I highly recommend getting on Meetup.com and joining photography groups and modeling groups. Personally, I would go on to fashion blogger groups as well, and I would network over there and see if fashion bloggers, and this is a good thing to do too, because you can take their photo, and since they're aspiring fashion bloggers, they will post you, tag you, promote you, and it is only more free exposure for you, which is awesome. And you're benefiting them because you're giving them clothing and you're giving them photography for them to grow their brand. It's a big, like, it is such a great, like, you know, exchange. Okay, so I wanted to quickly touch base on just some rules and other little tips and tricks when moving forward in scheduling your photo shoots. To do, number one, you need to be super respectful of the model's time. They are taking time out of their day to meet with you, to shoot with you, putting that effort. Now, let's say you didn't finish or you need to get something. Me personally, I don't push it. I'm just like, okay, it's fine, we're gonna wrap it up, you know, and that's it. You can ask the model if they're okay with staying to finish maybe one thing or whatever, but honestly, like, I'm just so grateful for them coming out and putting their effort and time into shooting with me and working with me that I just wrap it up right at 11:30, no questions asked. Tip number two, so during the shoot, obviously, I mean, who knows, it depends on your personality, but sometimes for some people it's kind of awkward meeting with another stranger and you're shooting and it's like just you, like, one-on-one, which is most of the time how the shoots are with me, just me and the model. So sometimes it's really helpful to have music in the background to set a mood, set an atmosphere of just fun, relaxed, where the model feels more comfortable shooting and, you know, you guys are able to kind of flow with conversation a little better because there's just some background music going on. Tip number three, so make an effort to talk to the model, get to know them, ask them where they're from, ask them if they're going to school, you know, just small talk, conversation, and you want to make sure that they feel relaxed and they're having fun. When you do the shoot, I just make sure you respect their personal space and their bubble. So with that being said, when you are doing a photo shoot, and you are gonna go in and maybe, you know, you need to fix the shirt or whatever because it's wrinkled weird or something and it looks funny, let them know. Be like, hey, I'm coming in to move this. Is that okay with you? 100% respect their personal space. Don't be weird. Don't be creepy. Don't violate their personal space. Just ask them. Make sure they feel, most importantly, they feel comfortable around you. Tip number 5. Run to the grocery store and grab water and snacks or whatever for the model. So again, like, sometimes models drive like an hour away. They come from like Orange County or whatever, and to shoot with me here in LA. That's like a 45-minute to an hour drive depending on traffic. That if you can just provide them with like a snacks or like water, like, that would be really great. So obviously we are going through a global pandemic. We need to, please mind you, when you are at the photo shoot, when you're taking pictures, you need to stay professional. You need to keep your mask on. You need to sanitize your hands. You need to be aware of these things. If the model allows you to, like, touch your clothes or hair, please make sure your hands are sanitized. Please make sure you're wearing your mask properly. You are representing a business, which is your business. You want to conduct yourself as professionally as possible. So go into the photo shoot with a tight list of exactly what it is you need to get done. So you need these products shot and you want to do these videos and you want to make, like, let's say some TikToks. So have a good list of that, know what you need to get and get it done, you know, so have a good list and just have it ready to go. Be on top of sending them their photos on time. If you said, typically I shoot on Fridays and I tell them I'm going to send them the photos by Monday night. So I make sure that whatever I'm doing, whatever I need to do, I prioritize getting those photos out by Monday night because it is just so important. It is your word. They trust you and they're willing to work with you again. You want to give them the best experience possible. You want to be as professional as possible. I've heard photographers like that never send them their photos. Like, that's such a dick move. Like, don't do that. I know it was a lot. I hope these tips and tricks are going to help you. Like, me doing this has helped me grow my business so much and has helped me just have better content and meet people. And don't forget to like this video. Until next time, guys. Bye.